Okay. Well, I want to start. What a beautiful setting to welcome all to the state capitol for the signing of this historic piece of legislation, House File 2647. For our entire country, the past couple of weeks have led to some genuine soul searching. The upsetting tragedy, the crime that took George Floyd's life on a street in Minneapolis, opened the eyes of a nation and sparked a movement. It also reinforced the message of our African American brothers and sisters that have been telling us for years that injustice exists and is unacceptable in a free and great nation such as this. It's simply gut-wrenching to hear the feelings of fear that so many people of color experience on a day-to-day basis, and the persistent sense that they have that justice is not applied equally or fairly. And it's also frustrating to see the noble service of a vast majority of Iowa's law enforcement officers tarnished by the horrific acts of a few. Moms, dads, sons, and daughters, brothers and sisters who put their lives on the line every day to protect us and our communities. I'm proud to say that in Iowa, we do things different. On Monday, leaders from both parties joined together in my office to listen to each other, to be frank with each other, to demand better, and to work together towards lasting and real solutions. In just one day, both the House and the Senate introduced a leadership bill and passed historic legislation that takes the first step towards systemic change. This bill is a loud and resounding signal from the people of Iowa and its leaders that we are ready and willing to act. The bill that I'm about to sign puts stronger restrictions on the use of chokeholds by law enforcement officers. It strengthens the process for certifying and decertifying law enforcement officers to ensure that those who have been fired or resign after serious misconduct do not work in our state. It allows the Attorney General's office additional authority to prosecute officers whose actions result in the death of another. And it establishes requirements for annual anti-bias and de-escalation training for officers. All of these steps are meaningful and add additional levels of accountability for Iowa's dedicated law enforcement officers. And that's good for both our communities and the police, to whom we entrust our public safety and who signed off in support of this bill. This legislation passed with unanimous bipartisan support. I want to acknowledge the bipartisan leadership of the House and the Senate for showing what leadership is. Leader Whitver, Speaker Grassley, minority leaders Representative Pritchard and Senator Peterson, House Majority Leader Winchell, and Representative Bobby Kaufman. And I especially want to thank Representative Roz Smith and Representative Akeo Abdul Samad. Two very passionate voices for justice, healing, and change. And your state can't thank you enough for your work on this bill. And to the thousands of Iowans who have taken to the streets calling for reforms to address inequities faced by people of color in our state, I want you to know that this is not the end of our work. It is just the beginning. Again, a heartfelt thank you to the legislature for swift bipartisan action on this bill. It will go down as one of this legislature's finest hours. And now it is my pleasure to sign House File 2647.
Give it up, give it up.
Oh boy, what is today? What's the date?